This is High Definition News.
QuickStart.
I'm Jeff Kaufman. Here are some of the stories that will shape the way today unfolds.
So we are ready for the vaccine. We have the infrastructure and the staffing in place.
Long Beach Mayor Robert Garcia with confirmation that the coronavirus vaccine is on its way to the LBC. And the first injections in the first arms will come within days. But that arm may not be yours, at least not right away.
We understand that a lot of folks want to get vaccinated today. And we would love to have enough vaccine to vaccinate everyone in the next couple months. But the truth is that we have to vaccinate as we go and as we get vaccinations coming in.
Long Beach has its own health department, so it gets to run the vaccination program here and does not have to rely on the LA County Health Department, though the two work closely together. It'll be a 3-phase program. More on that in a moment. Here's how we got here. A federal Food and Drug Administration advisory committee yesterday voted 17-4 with one abstention to recommend what's called an emergency use authorization for the vaccine made by Pfizer. That's a special case permission that does not equal the kind of full licensing that most drugs receive. It comes after what vaccine expert Dr. Kenneth Kim told Channel 7 was much less testing and much less time than it usually takes to get a new drug approved.
This concept of an EUA is only used in specialized circumstances where there's either a military emergency or a public health emergency.
It'll be the first time an emergency use authorization has ever been granted for a vaccine. That's if the full FDA accepts the committee's recommendation, which is expected possibly as early as today. At that point, the millions of doses that have already been made and are waiting in cold storage will be loaded into FedEx planes and trucks and shipped everywhere. In LA County, Cedars-Sinai Medical Center will be destination 1 because it has the type of cold storage that can keep the vaccine at the required minus 94 degrees Fahrenheit. But it turns out Long Beach also has that right kind of freezer, so it will also be among the first places to receive vaccine shipments. Mayor Garcia said the LBC will receive about 3,900 doses of the Pfizer vaccine this month, and about 11,600 doses of the Moderna vaccine once it's approved. We'll probably see the Moderna doses in January. Garcia said vaccinations will begin before the end of this month.
Let's be clear, not everyone will be vaccinated at the same time. And we will be in a vaccination process all throughout 2021.
Long Beach will have a 2-phase vaccination program, and let's cut to the chase. You are almost certainly in phase 2. Unless you're in one of the categories eligible under Phase 1, which itself is divided into 3 sub-phases. Phase 1A includes healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, medical techs, EMTs, and paramedics, patients and staff at acute care and skilled nursing centers, home healthcare workers, health department employees, and dental workers. After that comes Phase 1B, essential workers who are not healthcare related, which means police officers, teachers, grocery workers, utility workers, and transit workers. Phase 1C includes people over 65 who are at high risk. Vaccinating all those folks in Phase 1A, B, and C will likely take from now until late spring or early summer. Then it's everybody else's turn. At locations all across Long Beach, including the current testing centers, the mayor says starting in late spring or early summer, you can roll up your sleeve and be vaccinated.
You'll be able to drive up like you do for a test, and instead of getting a test, or you can still get one, you will also get the vaccination for COVID-19.
So many people have waited so long for this announcement. For some, including 288 people in Long Beach, the wait was too long. The day before yesterday, 3,025 Americans died of the coronavirus. It was the first day since the start of the pandemic that deaths exceeded 3,000. That's more people than were killed at 9/11, more people than were killed at Pearl Harbor. And in the past 24 hours, another 2,800 plus Americans. A Pearl Harbor every day. A 9/11 every day. The imminent arrival of the coronavirus vaccines is good news. We have been waiting for this good news for what seems like centuries. It's actually been a little over 9 months. And the virus is still out there. A new South Korean study shows you can contract the virus from someone who has it, even if you're only with them for 5 minutes and you're 20 feet apart. Mayor Garcia.
Just because vaccinations are on the way doesn't mean we can stop wearing a face mask or not be careful. But every single person that gets vaccinated, starting now in just a couple weeks, will add to the strength of our city and community, and more people will become immune. and we'll be able to take this virus on in a much stronger way.
The vaccine. Good news. Unemployment claims for the first time, 853,000 last week. That's the most since September. So it's going to be a while before we climb out of this economic after effect of the pandemic. Susan Rice, you remember her from the Obama administration. President-elect Biden picked her yesterday as director of the new White House Domestic Policy Council. That's kind of an amorphous title. It means she's in charge of a lot of stuff. She'll have a lot of influence in the Oval Office. He also appointed Dennis McDonough, who was the White House Chief of Staff under President Obama, as Secretary of Veterans Affairs. The Supreme Court yesterday ruled unanimously that Muslim men who were placed on the government's no-fly list because they wouldn't agree to be FBI informants, they can sue, and they can hold those federal agents personally, financially liable for that. We lost Paul Sarbanes. Paul Sarbanes used to be a senator. You may remember his name because of the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, which is designed to make corporate executives more accountable. They have to sign their financial reports and stuff like that in the annual report. But if you are old enough, you remember him as a congressman from Maryland, Republican, who wrote Article 1 of the acts of impeachment against Richard Nixon during Watergate. Paul Sarbanes was 87. And now Cher, the house she used to live in Miami Beach's Biscayne Bay, just sold, ask price $22 million. So it sold for $17 million. One house, $17 million.
I mean, I'm just working so much now. But I don't know.
Don't complain about the weather. You can't change it, so be a sport. Dress so you are nice and comfy. Dress for the weather. Listen to this weather report.
Long Beach and Southern California weather, it's going to be a cool day. No, really, cool. Or if you were born in California, it's going to be freezing. It's going to be 60 degrees along the coast and in Long Beach today, and in Metro LA and Orange County, 62. We'll go up a whopping 11 degrees by the weekend, but then that only makes 71 degrees. Now you know what we know. I'm Jeff Kaufman, High Definition News.